So you ever make apple cinnamon hand pies? It's a flaky, buttery crust that's filled with a homemade apple compote with a little bit of cinnamon sugar and brown sugar. Oof, to die for. If you're enjoying this video, please be sure to hit the subscribe button below and click the bell icon so that you're notified every time I post a new and delicious recipe. Let's get into it. So the first step of apple hand pies is making your filling. So you could of course buy, or make apple butter. That would also be really yummy in these. But we're just gonna make like a quick compote. So first, peel your apples. I've got 3 different varieties right here. I've got a Pink Lady, I've got a Honey Crisp, and a Granny Smith. I like to keep them kind of tart. You don't want to use anything that's too mushy, like, Macintosh, like that's not cool. Okay. All right. Voila. All right, and we're just going to cut these. I'm just going to cut around the core. I've decided that today I don't want to be that persnickety about it, maybe because it's an apple compote that's going to go inside something else, and I'm trying to be more chillax. So you can cut them however you want, but I'm going to cut them kind of like a centimeter by a centimeter. Wish my knife were sharper. Oh, that's fat. Okay. I see you. Okay, now that you've sliced them all kind of like long ways into what's called tranches, then you're going to go back and slice them this way. Slice them through, and that way it'll be easier to slice the little pieces. And then you're just gonna slice like that, and you're gonna get your little cubes. Aw, look at us. Okay, now, that is a medium dice, and it's going in the pot. And we're gonna repeat, yep, and we're gonna repeat. Why is it when you cut up apples, they always seem like way more than they are? Like it's like, whoosh. Let me get a bigger one. Alrighty, let's get this in here. Alright, now we got our apples in there. Now, you can be persnickety about this, but I'm not gonna be persnickety because this is New Year, New Me. Or same year, new me, I don't know. I'm just gonna squeeze my juice of my limon in here. It's about half a lemon. This is a really large lemon, so if you're using like a normal size lemon, you might want to use a whole lemon. Just FYI. All right, you've got choices to make here. Choices. You want to decide how sweet you're going to make this, then you can add a little bit more sugar. It's not going to change any of the flavors except it's going to make it a little sweeter. It also depends on the apples that you choose, right? You don't want to choose, super tart and use all Granny Smith apples and then be shocked when your final product is tart, right? So if you do and you want it to be a little sweeter, then you're just going to go ahead and add a little bit more sugar. This is why baking is the bomb, people. The bomb. Normally when I make this kind of stuff, like fillings for cupcakes or this, I don't even measure because it's not that serious. All right, so we've got here, and we're gonna put on a little bit of cinnamon. You add whatever spices you wanna do. You wanna use pumpkin pie spice? Yum. You wanna use apple pie spice? Yum. The only difference really is that there's allspice in there, like a lot. So that's your call. I'm gonna use cinnamon, and I'm gonna use ginger. And then I would probably, I'm just do like a little pinch of cardamom. All right, so go ahead and just stir this up. Yum. I'm gonna put a little bit more brown sugar in there. Yes, I am. Boom. Get in there. Look at our cute little small dice. So go ahead and take this, put it on the stove, and we're gonna turn it on kind of, medium low. And we're gonna try and get those apples to release some of their juices, right? We wanna cook some of that out and make like a thick, nice compote to put inside the hand pies. So while this is cooking, you would want to prepare your pie crust if you haven't done so already. You could also use store-bought, super easy here. Or you make any one of my other pie crust recipes, and those would all be delightful here. I've actually already made mine, and it was in my freezer last night. I took it out, and it's been in my refrigerator, so it's all ready for us to roll out and just breeze through. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes, and you can see that all of the juices that were released have been kind of absorbed, and the apples are starting to maybe caramelize a little bit, but you still have pieces of apple, and that's just because of the apples that we chose, but they're nice and soft and tender, and that's how you know that they're done. So we're gonna go ahead and take this and pour it out onto, I got plastic wrap on here, you could use parchment, and this is gonna help them cool quickly, and then I'm gonna pop them in the fridge and let them cool completely before we put them into our cold pastry, because obviously we want our pastry to puff and be beautiful. But let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll be ready to assemble. We are ready to roll out our dough. Our apple filling is completely chilled, and I am pretty stoked about these, and they still have to chill again before we bake them here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and roll this out, assemble them. Now, you're just gonna need a cutter of choice. You can make them squares and use a knife or a pie roller. You're like, what the heck are you talking about? Pie roller. You can use whatever you want, and that is the best part about these. Get some bench flour on your counter, not on yourself. Look at this beautiful brisée we have. This is my vodka, all butter pie crust. And I use it for like a lot. Okay, so go ahead and just flour your rolling pin, and then we're gonna roll this out. It is pretty cold. It was in the freezer until last night where I took it out, and I've just kind of let it gradually come to temperature on the in the refrigerator. I have it in kind of a square format here, just because of the type of cutter I'm gonna use. So, you know, you just kind of, doesn't really matter, to be honest. This is also a really great thing to do with your pie scraps, like if you have scraps for making a lattice or something. So just go ahead and give it a nice roll out. Yep, just give it, we're trying to get it to about, you know, 1/8 of an inch. Now, if you have a little packet of butter that like has decided to poke through and make itself known, just cover it with flour. The most important thing is it doesn't stick to your rolling pin. Oh, what's up? Okay, here we are. That's about 1/8 of an inch, and we are ready to cut. Could we chill it at this moment? Yes. Should you? All right, dip it in flour. If it starts shrinking excessively, I will chill it. Now, go ahead and just kind of cut those out. Don't forget you need one for the top and one for the bottom, so you're actually making, you know, kind of double the cutouts. This pie dough is so beautiful. It's literally the easiest thing to work with. It's so lovely. Yes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just kind of pull off all these scraps. Now you can re-roll these scraps, maybe like chill them, and then re-roll them and make more hand pies if you'd like. Just saying. If you're using pie scraps to make the hand pies, then I wouldn't re-roll them. I would just use, you know, just use them one time. But these can absolutely be rolled again. Now we've got our compote, which you can see has completely cooled and is all beautiful. Now, one of the other benefits of chilling it on top of a plastic wrap like this is that it's easy to get into your bowl. I know, them's professional tips for you. That's right, look at that. All right, so I have some egg wash. You can see my video up there on how to make that really fast. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna brush the edges. You could use water if you'd like. Honestly, I'm being lazy, and so I'm actually brushing the whole thing because nobody's gonna know, and it's faster, so. If you use too much or you're using heavy cream or something, then they might not stick, but we are not, and everything is going to be fine. We're gonna make 9, a nice even 9, can't wait. All right, so take a nice generous amount of your filling. Be sure to get some on the counter. That is actually imperative to the process. Now, you can overfill these. I've done that. It's not the worst thing. I think it's far worse to get a hand pie that has no filling in it. That is a sad situation. And I'm not here for that. Oh wait, that one's gonna be full. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Now, if you forgot to egg wash, just do it now. May I suggest though that you do the tops, you egg wash the tops, because trying to egg wash around filling kind of sucks. Fun fact. Okay, so go ahead and we're gonna take a top and lay it on the bottom and just try and keep the filling in the center, right? You're trying to corral it in there. Let the top kind of fold over. If you need to grab the bottom and kind of pinch, that's totally cool too. We are going to use a fork to seal it just because I actually really like the visual. You know, just try and work kind of quickly, but you don't want to pull on it or, you know, kind of force it in any sort of way, or it'll just shrink and you will have yourself a sad but still delicious hand pie. Yes. Okay. I'm super stoked about these. Wait, what happened? No! I counted wrong. Fabulous. So I guess I should have re-rolled my scraps, but here we are. I'm gonna make a cheater's taster hand pie. You're like, what? Is it a thing? No. But you know what I'm gonna do? Mirror. It's also called a turnover. It is a tiny turnover. Is she gonna pop open in the oven? Probably. But she looks like a tiny dumpling and we're super stoked about her. Okay, so I am gonna carefully transfer these to my parchment lined baking sheet over here. Yes, I am. Now we are going to seal the edges with a fork. Technically they should already be sealed, but this is cheap insurance and I think it looks pretty. Could you do a little crisscrossy situation? Totes. Be careful with your fork, tongs, prongs, tines? Tines? Wow, English is my native language. In case there was concern about that. Okay, and now we've poked holes. I'm gonna wait until they're cool to poke the holes in the top. I find it a little bit easier, just don't forget. So we're gonna chill these at least 30 minutes. You can also freeze them and bake them from frozen. All right, so our hand pies have chilled and I have preheated our oven to 375 degrees and I am ready to poke some holes and get them in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give them a little, like, you know, kind of decorative vent situation. You can do whatever you like. We have our fat one right here. She's cute. Okay. Okay, so our vents have been cut and we are ready to brush them with heavy cream. Let's go ahead and give them a nice little brush all around. You could, of course, use egg whites or whatever you want. It'll work quickly. Make sure that they don't get too warm while you're doing this. And now we're going to sprinkle them with, guess what? Cinnamon sugar. You thought I was going to say turbinado sugar, didn't you? Ba-ba. Keeping you guessing. You could totally use turbinado sugar. All right, so just give them a nice generous sprinkle here. You could also make a cinnamon turbinado sugar. I actually keep this cinnamon sugar in my pantry in case there's like a snickerdoodle moment that I need to have. You don't have snickerdoodle moments? Let's pop them in the oven, 375. They're out. They baked about 20 minutes and I was just looking for them to be a nice golden brown and to see some of the filling bubbling, which I did and I'm very excited about. Also super stoked about our cutie over here. Look at her, she's adorbs. So obviously there's more filling than, you know, we had hand pies. You could use this to stuff some caramel apple cupcakes, or you could just use it as a compote on, you know, really anything. It is time to try. I have let them cool for a hot minute. Okay, it was like 5 minutes, but you know, they're still warm. So I'm gonna be very careful. I'm gonna go ahead and try this one here. I'm super stoked. Oh, I can hear that flake. Oh, and it's like absolutely stuffed with filling. Yeah, totally. All right, let's dive in. Burn my mouth, I know it. Oh wow. They're top. Sorry, I needed a minute there apparently. The pastry is tender and flaky and buttery with like that cinnamon sugar coating on top, and the apples are perfectly tender and like perfectly spiced with cinnamon and a little bit of sugar, and oh yes, this is everything.